We've always had a good program here in this community. We've had other foresters. Mike can kind of work for us for a long time. And we've always had good activity with how to maintain those forest floors and protect them so that these things don't happen again.
What is the role of the forestry committee? What are some of the things that you do, and how often do you meet?
We meet as often as we need to. We'll take a look at a piece of real estate that we think ought to be maybe thinned or worked through. Bill will bring a project to us and suggest that we might want to think about doing this. We've got an active group. I think there's 6 or 7 of us on the committee. And we'll sit and talk through it and look at the pros and cons as to why we might want to do it or maybe not. There's an inherent value to cutting wood, certainly with what goes on here, because the revenues from that forest activity goes into our mountain bike trails, our cross-country trails.
Fantastic, right?
Yeah, actually, if you take a look at it, for the money that we spent for this lot, it really doesn't owe us anything. We own 2,137 acres of contiguous real estate, and if you do the math, it's $200 an acre that we actually have in it. This lot we had to buy from Bureau of Public Lands, but if you think about that, you can afford to manage it properly, not get overactive and cut it too aggressively. But I think that the program that we now have, it's been very well receptive to all that use it. I see people all the time that come to this town now in the summertime to mountain bike. Bob's an active mountain biker. Those folks never came here before. This has become, it's enhancing the opportunity for us to be more of a four-season resort. So there's added value to everything that goes on there.
It's exciting. It's a lot of great information yesterday, and we did videotape that, so it will be available so that people can get more information. Understanding it is really important. I don't think a lot of people do understand it, and I think people have seen the result of poor forest management, have they not? I mean, what would be an example of looking at a scenic outlook of poor forestry management? Anyone want to grab that one?
Liquidation. Liquidation harvesting is probably that's what's driven a lot what's happened in the state of Maine. Someone buys a piece of land, it's got some value on it, they take all the value, and then within a year or two they sell it. And as a result of that, there's legislation that's been passed to thwart liquidation harvesting. So, a lot of money can be made in the timber industry, but and that's fine. I mean, it all depends on what your goals and objectives are. If you buy it as an investment and you're going to turn it around, the one thing that no matter how bad a job you do, Mother Nature will fix it. If you mess it up and you clear cut it and you decimate the soils over a period of time, Mother Nature will bring it back and fix it. So,
my reaction to your question was, well, it's a tough one to answer because if you are not part of the decision making, you don't know what the objective was. And someone may have cut all the trees off, but there may have been a good reason for it, or they might have wanted to grow something new in that spot. So it's hard to judge unless you know the thought process.
Well, here we know what the property is going to be used for generations, but in some cases you probably don't know the future of that property. So,
Well, and the beauty of this lot here is that it's owned by a community. Controlled and regulated by a community. It doesn't have to be a huge revenue generator. I take, for example, I look at the town of Stratton Eustace and what they've done with their public lot up along the lake, and very, very well managed. And we certainly want to believe it's important that we do the same types of things here. Keep it presentable for everyone forever.
It sounds like with the committee that's certainly happening here and continues to happen. I want to thank you all for your time. I know that I appreciate you coming on the program and talking about it. And the tour yesterday was great, and hopefully people have a chance to see that. We may present that here on the program once we get that edited out. But I want to thank you.
Thanks, Greg.
Bill,
Thanks, Greg.
thank you so much for being here. And we're going to take a quick